and it's like the Blue Men group, but they're in blue and they're playing the drums and they're pro Blue Lives Matter.
You didn't have to repeat that. That was in the
yes.
ether, and then now that's the open.
It didn't get picked up.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is the Sausage Boys podcast.
Especially the ladies. Yes. Hell yeah.
We're back for another episode. What is this, 39 or something like that?
I can't wait till 69.
If you know what I mean. This is
Hell
your
yes.
host, Jackson. As always, we have...
What's good? It's your boy Terry Crews in Sydney.
Young
Blue Lives Matter. Young Blue Blues Clues, and they're actually like a pro-police cartoon for kids.
Yep.
He's like writing in his notebook how many black people were killed by police who weren't resisting arrest, and there's nothing there. Anyway.
Yeah, and on this episode, we have a very special guest. Very funny guy. We'll get into it, but this dude runs a comedy room that we go to. It's kind of where we're finding our feet.
Yeah, the only comedy room you go to, I think.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, it is.
The great and funny Gavin Scott.
Thank you.
Woo!
Thank you.
Gavin Scott.
You don't have to keep clapping. Thank you.
Gavin Scott, Jackson Scott. I think we have to do a little bit of investigating here. What's going on?
Is your last name actually Scott?
No, it's
okay.
Grant.
I was going to be.
Oh, it is.
I've never seen him sign up as Scott. But it's always been Grant.
Realised I went to school with a guy called Jackson Scott. I completely got that confused. I thought you were Jackson Scott for a little bit because I was laughing. He was funny. He was a very.
Do you know where
funny
you
guy.
are?
No, I actually don't know what's going on right now. I'm very confused.
We're in El Camino.
Yeah, I know. We've got the El Catina. We've got like a Mexican hat on the wall.
Yep.
Where's that from?
It's just an inspiration hat.
Yeah.
If you ever need inspiration, you can put that on. So we might need to put that on for the first part of the show. Don't read my messages.
Okay, let's see. Hey,
hey,
Jackson, are you free right now? It's a guy called Brett. Interesting.
Yeah, booyah.
You got that. Yeah.
Back for another episode. We're going to do a double episode today. We're going to record one earlier. Someone cancelled on us.
Someone cancelled on us, a man by the name of Seizure.
I thought you're not actually going to say it.
If you listen to this, Seizure, you're actually banned from all things Sausage Boys for the next few months. You're never going to come on this show again.
Yeah.
So we're just putting that out there for the people. Gavin, how's your day been?
I didn't get cancelled, so I'm happy.
I know he turned up, which is nice. Yeah. Riv and Caesar are the two people who were cancelled from the podcast forever.
It was meant to be Benchwarmers. It was going to be like Riv and Henry.
Oh, yeah.
And Riv's awesome. And we never really spoke to or hung out with Henry or whatever.
Yeah.
And he came on here and we were just talking to this dude for an hour.
What about Henry Goo?
Henry Goo?
Henry Goo when he ejaculates everywhere. That's a good one.
That is a good one.
That's a good one. Yeah.
So I'm gonna go back to talking to the adults.
You've been doing it for a while now, huh? You've been doing stand up for 7 years or something.
And how long have you been doing it as well? How long have you been doing it?
What do you mean by that?
Doing it. You know what I mean.
Give him some space.
I think we all know what I mean. Doing it. We asked the same question to.
So stand
Henry.
up 6 years, doing it 2 years.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if I just said a number.
Yeah, sick.
6 years.
Yeah, so late 2014 I started, so
right.
6 and a bit now.
6 and a bit.
And you're already doing music before that, right? Or you already had an interest in kind of
Yeah. I went to uni to do music, and then I kind of realized that, it's hard working with people.
In a band.
Yeah, just having 4 people agree on something is the most difficult thing.
That's true, and that's why Jesus was real, because 4 men wouldn't lie. Is that the thing? What was it? How many men all came together and said that they saw Jesus after he died?
Are you talking about the 12 apostles, or are you talking about the 3 wise men?
3 wise men. Who were the dudes that saw Jesus after he died? Was it the 3 wise men?
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah,
That's not the 3
rose.
wise men. That's the
He rose again. A couple people. saw
Yeah,
him.
yeah. I don't know how many people. I don't know if there is a number for how many people saw
Yeah,
it.
because I know people saw him, and the whole idea is if that many
Yeah.
amount of men could all come to an agreement that they saw a person, then it must have happened.
No, Jesus came back. Yeah, blind Joe saw him after curing him of his blindness.
That's also like a really
Frank
like,
Jesus seer saw him, and he sees Jesus everywhere. I don't know.
It's a very flawed thinking, being like, yeah, if 4 people saw him, that means it happened.
I know, that's the debate I think a
Yeah.
lot of people have. I had a friend who had that debate. I was kind of like, well, there's no proof that Jesus actually existed. And he's like, well, let's just say 4 men saw him.
But
and if 4 men can
four
agree...
people came together and they were like, "Yeah, I just saw that guy beat the shit out of that guy."
Right, we
you
just
wouldn't
need-
question it.
I think I also saw 4 men who saw Jackson from the podcast out on a date with another man
Jackson
last
Scott.
week.
Jackson Scott, yeah, you probably think
Yeah.
it's someone else.
Yeah, you're thinking of a different guy.
That's a good one. Good one. Nice. So 6 years, why'd you get into comedy?
You know, had nothing else to do.
That's a good, that's a good reason.
No, it's like, I don't know, like I've tried a bunch of different art forms and like performing and stuff. I always liked the performing kind of stuff. I liked music, but then like,
You were drumming, right? Did you say?
yeah, I started off as a bassist, then I became a drummer.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then I kind of just went into the production side of music, and I realized I hated that. Like, I don't mind producing music and stuff, but I
Yeah.
just hate dealing with people.
So you produce for other bands?
Yeah, like I didn't really do much of it because like I hated people so much.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah. Like anytime, and he might react to this. Anytime I see someone that describes himself as a singer-songwriter, I immediately hate him.
Well, we're both singer-songwriters.
Oh, well, I guess,
so it's,
I guess we got beef.
I guess it's going to have an issue because you got 2 singer-songwriters on the podcast with you right now.
But what if someone just
So-
sings and they write songs?
And they give really good back
And
massages.
you're like, no, I'm a singer-songwriter.
What if they're a singer-songwriter and give really good back massages? And they're saying they're giving you a really good back massage.
That's a bonus.
It's an ego thing or something, I think.
It's just like every person I've dealt with that describes himself like, and this is obviously in like a professional aspect, not in like a social aspect.
Yeah, so socially, you're like, oh yeah,
Socially.
Jackson's a cool guy.
Yeah.
As soon as
But
you put on your professional hat,
professionally,
you're like,
it's-
fuck
Yeah,
him.
we hate Jackson.
Ugh,
which
but
is
it's just every time, like every singer complains about their voice, being like, I know how I sound. That's how you recorded. You didn't capture me
they
correctly.
complain about their voice.
And then they always like got something nitpicking kind of thing, and you're just like, dude, you sung in a microphone. It sounded off. Do it again.
What about a...
And then they get really bitchy about doing it again.
What about a singer? And it's like an Indian guy.
Yep.
Singer, and he's tikka masala. He's really picky about his tikka masala that he chooses.
I think at some
Oh.
point they
Yeah,
stop becoming
okay.
puns.
What about a singer? Singer. That's
I see you got him. I feel like you got him self-conscious about.
No. Oh no,
Let me
I'm
guess.
tired as well. I was actually gonna ask you boys something to pump me up.
Oh,
Some
okay.
pump up.
Need
I'm just, you get into that lazy cycle kind of
yeah,
thing.
like lethargic
Yeah, we end up like sleeping late, so you don't go to the gym, and then
cycle.
I'm in that cycle right now.
how much sleep did you get?
Enough.
Okay.
Enough.
So you
It's
got
not even the
enough
problem.
sleep.
I'm
which
just
is
being
interesting.
lazy.
I reckon
Being
you
lazy
do some
boy.
squats right now.
Squats could be good.
All right.
How about you just get completely nude?
All right, that
Like
was,
up in the steps right now, just get completely nude, peek down for a bit. That will get your adrenaline going. What is my roommate? Is
You know what would be
is
the
Joe gonna see me?
funniest thing? Just at a party or something, you step out of the room. You're like, oh wait, I'm gonna do my Kramer impression, and you walk out of the room. They think you're about to bust in, and you just walk back in normally, but you're naked. And you're like, I've never seen Seinfeld.
I don't know who Kramer is.
You just walk back in and you're just saying the N-word.
I was being Kramer Johnson from my favorite movie. Yeah.
Kramer versus
Yeah,
Kramer.
but working with musicians must be hard. Like, I know even when doing comedy, there's such a lack of ego
Oh, yeah.
that goes along with it compared to...
I'm like, comics have the free pass because you don't need to put them in a recording booth and record them. You know what I mean?
That's
Like,
true,
If
yeah.
you had to put a comic in a recording booth and record them, they would be fucking torturous.
They'll be like, can we please
Yeah.
have the booth at this fast food restaurant? That's the
Yeah,
kind of
they'll
booth
be
you're going to
like-
find comedians at.
Yeah, they'll be
Am
like,
I right, people?
they'll be like, why can't we record at the bar?
Yeah,
let's
that's
record
true.
at the bar. And then,
Right.
And then you got to be like, dude, there's so much sound at the bar. They'll be like, yeah, we'll go to the quiet part.
Maybe because
Yeah,
like
yeah.
comics are all losers. who know they're losers. Singer-songwriters are losers that don't know they're losers.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the thing. Every singer-songwriter in the history of the world is kind of a loser.
Yeah, yeah.
There's no cool guy who wants to be a singer-songwriter.
Kurt
That just
Cobain.
doesn't. He's a loser. Did you see him?
Dude,
Did you watch the documentary?
he's a cool guy. He does heroin.
That's pretty cool. But apart from the heroin, it's kind of like the Lou Reed. Lou Reed had no personality until he started doing heroin. There are all these like losers that kind of end up doing drugs, and that kind of makes them cool.
Yeah, there's not a lot of winners that have 8 albums about other people.
That's true.
Oh,
That's very true.
Rappers are cool.
Ooh.
They are cool.
Rappers are cooler than...
Certified
They
cool.
are cool.
I'm a rapper-songwriter.
I think
See, that's
singing,
different.
And
I
There's
when they get
something
in the booth,
uncool
they get
about
in the
singing.
booth.
I know
You're
how
like,
to run with a rapper.
You like listen to it back and they're like, I don't need to hear that shit, man. I don't even need to hear that shit, man. They don't want to hear it back. They just like put that on the shelf.
I like how your idea of a rapper is Kid Rock.
Yeah, because I say that word so
It's
often.
like the one like.
Did you hear about Kid Rock dropping some serious heat recently? He was dropping some profane words
Like
at a show.
what kind of slurs are we talking?
Homophobic.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, that's
Like,
right.
you're like, oh, no
Yeah,
way.
That's right. Oh,
Yeah, like that
crazy.
makes. No, I was like gauging. I'm like, I was expecting like he was gonna go racist, and that would have surprised me. Kid Rock going racist would have surprised me.
What about Kid Rock with an N? How about that one?
Kid Rock with an N?
Kid Rock. Oh, shit, that doesn't even work, does it? Kid. No, it doesn't work. Anyway, they're not all winners, ladies and gentlemen. They're not all winners,
Why
ladies
don't
and
you just go
gentlemen.
for the obvious one, like adolescent rock? Like
true.
that's like the obvious.
What about
What about Kid Scissors?
Kid Scissors.
That's the only.
what about abortion rock?
Hey,
Could be all right.
I think Kid Paper's gonna win.
Kid Paper. Oh, that sounds like a pretty good rap name, Kid Paper.
Oh, he's trying to work out his name. And he's like,
That is actually not a bad
He's
rap.
like, I'll be Kid Rock. And then he's like, oh no, but I could be Kid Paper. That wins. He's like, no, I should be Kid Scissors. That beats that. And he's like,
Kid Rock.
oh no, I'm back at the beginning again, man.
Back to square one. Back
Yeah.
to square one.
But yeah, they're not cool. Rappers are cool, which
Rappers
is...
are officially cool.
Is there, I think there are a few uncool rappers, but for the most part, rappers are very cool. I think singing's uncool. There's something uncool about using your voice. And kind
Yeah,
of trying.
like operatically kind of singing.
Yeah, that's
like,
the
yeah.
thing, because it's in this realm of like being a performance artist. It's like actors can't really be cool because they're pretending and they're like doing theater at the end of the day, and that's like one of the most uncool things a person could do.
Yeah, and you kind of get like the characters cool rather than the person.
Yeah.
Like people like, was it just Jason Statham? Like any action guy, you're just like, oh yeah,
Yeah,
him
it's
and
like-
Crank's sick.
That's the thing. Even like what's it? Mari Hardwick from what's it called? Power. Did you ever watch Power?
No, I haven't
Plays
seen it.
Ghost. He's this real cool badass. And then
Okay.
reality, he's like wearing a fedora
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
and like
Actors
Like
are not
boat
cool.
shoes.
We know that
Actors
actors
aren't cool.
There's not one cool actor.
Actors aren't cool.
But
They're not-
I think bands aren't cool because that's 4 dudes in a room and they've got to like talk for hours about what they're gonna do.
I
You're in
think
a room with
I think
4
that breaks
men.
down to the instrument though. Like the
Bass,
lead guitar-
bass is probably the
Bass
coolest.
is pretty-
It's like I
don't
want to play
know.
guitar,
That
but I don't want to try that hard.
I was gonna
that's
say that-
pretty true. I don't want to be that loud. I just want to kind of put everything together.
Yeah, not singing's cool.
Not singing's
Full stop.
great.
Non singing's cool. I would say lead guitar's cool. Lead guitar is classically the cool one.
Play guitar.
Drums also cool.
Then you got to
Drums are-
learn something.
Yeah,
I
lead
think
guitar's hard.
learning's uncool. Anyone that wants to learn something's usually
Yeah,
a
because then you
loser.
got to be like that guy that's like playing guitar 10 hours a day, and then people are coming to your house and you're like playing guitar.
That's
and
the
you're like,
most
"Oh my God."
uncool thing. It may have been cool in the 70s.
Yeah, it
Go
was
to
cool when
someone's
Slash did it.
house. Yeah, if you went to Slash's house and he's just playing guitar,
But not nowadays.
that probably would be cool because he likes what he likes. You know
Yeah,
what I
but
mean?
he cares about it. He's like autistic. Do you know what I mean? So does like the guy who's like got a huge collection of model trains. He's like, hey, he just likes what he likes. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but he's not gangster about it. You know, he ain't
A
playing
guy
like
could be gangster about a train collection.
good. I'd actually want to say that.
That could be alright. Be like, no, dude, seriously, look at this.
Bro, I got a fucking T876.
Dude,
son.
look, it's a real life.
That was way too specific. as well.
I just said numbers.
What about
Well, I
an autistic?
know that that's real because I am autistic myself. So.
What about an autistic guy who can only like
guess.
run a train on his wife? That's all right.
Like that's how into trains he is.
That's how he has to bring around his friends. He's like, sorry, I have to run a train on you tonight. He has a whole bunch of black friends who are always there to run a train on his wife.
Yeah, you can't try at anything if you want to be cool. You just have to be naturally good at it. What about like punk bands? That's pretty cool. They're not really trying, are they? They're just doing.
They are.
No, but you look at like the Sex Pistols.
But what kind?
were
Yeah,
cool,
well, like
Segway.
what kind of punk are you talking about? Because you like the classic punk is
Yeah.
cool. But
Classic
you go
punk's
like
very
modern
cool.
punk, and it's just like these guys are bitches.
Ed Jackson's in a modern punk band, which is also.
Gavin's like, I'll find out about everything he does and indirectly attack him on this in the whole episode.
Yeah, I just think anyone doing punk in a punk band these days is probably a homosexual.
I just think they're all faggots. That's all.
Kid Rock over here.
Woo!
Kid Rock over here.
Kid
We
Rock.
got some nice sound bites happening.
we
got,
do.
We got one from Caesar.
Oh yeah, that's true. We got the N word, we got the F word, we Gavin now, which is nice.
Yeah,
We
They're
can
like
add on.
Pokemon badges. We're slowly collecting them so we
Yeah.
can fight the Elite Four. The Elite Four men that saw Jesus come out of the cave.
Jesus out of the cage. Imagine like if they just kept Jesus in a cage. That'd be so uncool.
Imagine if the Jesus
like
thing
instead he
was-
was on the cross, he's just in some cage. And like a whole
Oh,
bunch
yeah,
of like
now-
old
now
Italian
that's the
women have
sim-
like a cage.
And now that's the symbol for
that's
Christianity.
The,
a
yeah,
cage.
it's just,
Wearing cages around your neck. Got a gold cage in your neck. Yeah.
I don't think it would work. I don't think anyone would care about Christianity if he was in a cage.
No,
What if
they'll change it to like a lock or something. Like that would be the symbol.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
That's great. It would be a lock. That'd be great, wouldn't it?
A lock. And what's the key? The key would be like God or something.
Yeah, God's
Yeah.
the key.
Yeah,
Oh,
writes
man,
itself,
a key
doesn't
and
it?
a lock.
Were you raised
I think
religious
I'm
at
going
all?
to convert.
Any no religion growing up? Or?
Oh, heavily religious growing up.
Really?
Oh, really? You yourself?
Well, actually, it's kind of weird because like both my parents were the black sheep of like two very religious families.
Oh.
So my mum was like this, like I call them like Sunday Catholics because like they're Catholic every Sunday.
Black sheep. What are they? Islanders? Something like that.
It's a term
sheep,
for
there's
the
an
like
islander.
the outcast of the family.
An
kind of.
islander.
Okay.
New Zealand. Traditional Maori. There's something in there. They're kind of black and
I
they
don't know
have
why you
sex
don't
with
go
sheep.
for like the obvious jokes.
That's
You're always
the-
trying to go for like these weird like you're just like trying to dissect it and you're just
That's
like
because
not,
sometimes we get there and it's amazing.
Oh, I know. I think I'm almost there. Black sheep.
yeah.
Here we go. I'm a Maori guy who have blacker skin
Yep.
and have sex with sheep. There we go. I'm the black sheep of the family. That kind of works. Anyway, there were the black sheep. Let's go.
It's like the
Okay, so
strangest riff I've ever heard. Yeah, so like my mum's side was like Catholic, just kind of like generic Catholics. My dad's side was they were part of this thing called Exclusive Brethrens. Have you
Oh
heard of them?
yes, I'm liking it already. I don't know what
Yeah.
it is, but I
They're
like
like basically a cult.
Yes.
So like they're like what is like they kind of like got out of it when my grandfather died.
What's a
But
basic brethren?
exclusive brethren.
Exclusive brethren.
So like that like think of it like Amish, but like not as crazy. So like
Okay.
they're against like a lot of
We're
pleasures
Amish, but we
and
buy butter.
luxuries and
Let's just
stuff.
say we buy butter. We
What?
don't churn our own butter. We buy Lurpak. That's the only difference.
I want everyone to know I'm just staring at KD in disappointment.
Yeah, we're the exclusive brethren. We just got sick of churning our own butter. We buy Lurpak. And we basically, the Amish, everything else, but we just don't do the whole butter thing. My
It
arms
sounds
are
like a
getting
cool
tired.
club. It sounds like something you'd want to be a part of.
exclusive in its name.
I like it a lot.
You like it a
I
lot?
really,
Yeah.
I may be a member of the exclusive
Hey, you could
brethren.
go give it a go.
Yeah.
They're probably looking for members.
Yes, I know.
But yeah, like
Yeah.
the whole thing is like they're not like they're really against like pleasures and stuff. So like they weren't allowed to have like newspapers growing up. Like there was no TVs, no radios, no games.
Whoa.
Like so there's like a lot of that kind of stuff.
You grew up like that.
I didn't grow up like that, but that's how my dad grew up.
Gosh.
And then like both my parents are like their own kind of religion, and then they really like stepped away from it. But then when I was growing up, the whole family was just like, you got to go to church. And like
They still believe in church at the end.
yeah, like my dad wouldn't go to church. My mum won't go to church. But like, I don't know. I'm not against church.
But they still,
I like it.
They still say you got to go to church, even though we're not going to go, but you can probably go
Yeah,
yourself.
or it was more my aunties. Like we would have aunties come and just pick us up and take us to church.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Gosh. It's just like a guy in a van. He's like, yeah, I'm your auntie.
Here to take you to church.
I
my
like
auntie's like the
church.
big.
I like church plenty.
Think my auntie's the big bad wolf or something.
Yeah, I love me some church.
You start doing the
Auntie.
maps in your head. You're like, oh yeah, I love church too. I love the hymns. You're like, you didn't do that. I love the organ that's in there. You're like, okay, I did say a organ.
I love having sex with a child. Wait, that's you got me.
You got me.
I've never
got
been
me.
to a service.
You know,
But I have been
I'd
serviced.
recommend going to one just like for an experience.
Yeah, it would be probably.
You've never been to a
pretty cool.
service?
No, I've been.
Wow, you've been
serviced. Yeah. No, I've never been to a. The Saucy Boys are in sync. We're synced up. No, I've never been to a. I've been to like a baptism.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah,
been
yeah.
to.
I've been
That's
to
probably
I've
it,
been to a
actually.
Or something.
baptism. Get it?
Baptism.
Baptism. There we go.
Baptism.
Baptism. What about a baptism? You just like splooge all over a baby.
I think that's called a bukkake.
I've been to a baptism.
You've been to a baptism.
Yeah.
Was it like an adult or a child?
A child.
So I think that's technically a christening.
Yeah, I think it was a christening. Yeah.
So you were baptized?
No.
Oh.
No.
Okay, we'll end the podcast now.
Heathen.
I thought we had a nice Christian boy. An old
Nice Christian boy.
on our podcast.
No.
Gosh, so your parents never went.
Oh,
You just
like,
went with
they
the
never. I
aunties.
never went with them. Like obviously they went when they were younger, but I never went with them.
Gosh. It's weird if they... So they must have had bad experiences, I'm guessing.
Oh,
to be
I
the
just
black
like
sheep.
they didn't like that. Like my mom grew up in like a she had to go to like a what are they called? Like the like these Catholic schools and shit.
Oh, just like
like-
a normal girls' school?
Yeah, but like
Yeah.
she was like getting taught by nuns and shit, so she
Yeah.
hates nuns.
Really?
Yeah.
Gosh, I always thought nuns were just like... The word came from getting nun. I think it was like I watched Sex in the City when I was very young.
And they call them nuns.
And that's the reason they were called nuns. And I didn't even know there was like a religious thing. I just thought it was a woman who never had sex was called a nun.
I'm pretty sure my mum also went to a school like that.
Really?
They were really common back in the day.
Yeah. It'd be pretty crazy just getting bossed around
Just a
by,
Catholic school.
by some virgins.
Yeah, but like
That's probably why they love hitting kids as well, because they have no release.
that's
That's
the release.
thing, yeah. They're going to school with brothers. Black
Maybe
people.
I should become a nun.
But yeah, it's weird. Like I went to Catholic school. You see these
Yeah.
brothers everywhere, and they haven't had
Yeah, yeah.
sex. And it's like, how can I respect someone who wasn't getting any? Who wasn't getting any
You
action?
just like hold your fingers up to him, smell that.
You'll never know what this is
You'll
like.
never know that.
You're like, what does that smell? And you're like, exactly.
You never know.
You'll never know. It's
So
been
please,
2 days.
Please tell me.
You're waiting for Monday to come around just to do that.
Your nails just
Yeah,
coming off.
Comes back like next week. Can I just get another hit of that finger, man? Just need another hit of that finger.
Just start showing him porn. You'd be like, what do you think of this?
What do you think of this, man?
There's some titties. They look pretty nice. Don't they?
So you gay or what?
Do you think that's happened? Just like a school kid just trying to like hit on a priest? Hit on a brother?
It's got to happen at least once.
It has to.
Because the classic example is obviously like the adult grooms a child.
Of course.
But there's got to be one case
a
where there's
poor innocent like
a poor
brother
innocent adult,
getting seduced by a young boy.
a child,
He like, the funny when I was in school.
child
like,
predator.
It wasn't even. I don't even think he was a brother, but he was an older guy, an older teacher, like probably like 70 something. And whenever he came into the change room, everyone would like take their clothes off and get nude. It was so funny.
How would he
Like, so we're
react?
changing, and they'd kind of like wagging in front of him and just kind of like.
Are you kidding
Yeah,
me?
it was so funny.
I feel like I missed out. I didn't see one dong in high school.
Really?
No, there was no like getting naked and having showers or whatever.
Also, the
There's none of
funniest
that.
thing on earth, just because it's an old guy, he didn't really know what was going on. Like a kid
Yeah.
would just go out naked. Like you'd be in like the basketball court, the change rooms are there. Just one kid, like the funny kid, would just walk out completely nude. The teacher, you have to like go back in and get changed.
When Lachlan came on, he actually had a story in high school. He was like staying in dorms.
Yeah.
And he What would he do? Just like,
Oh, that's right,
Just go
yeah.
to people's door and knock on it and just be completely nude.
Yeah.
And one time the teacher kind of caught him, but didn't really have anything to say and just
Yeah,
kind
like,
of
what are you gonna say to that?
put some clothes on.
Such
That's what I
like a
think.
delicate area. There's only so
but,
much you
like,
can say.
Yeah, sure. Tell them to put some clothes on, but then like if a third person now wanders out and you're talking to a naked child in the hall,
Oh.
If
you know
you
what I
get
mean? Like,
caught, if you get even
can't
caught,
like how you got to explain you out of that? Be like, no, I was telling him to put clothes on.
yeah. This even
Wow.
as an older person getting caught with a child without their clothes on is an awkward thing. Like,
I would, if I was a teacher, I'd like get other teachers to be like, you need to watch me deal with this.
yes, and that was the reason the kids
Then
would
you got a
kind
real
of get
problem when you
nude.
turn around and see the other teacher masturbating.
I thought that's what you meant by deal with it.
Excuse me, sir. Can you please deal with this right now?
We need to
hold
deal
him
with this
down.
problem. He's like digging a hole in the school.
Wait, so what school did you go to?
It's called Picnic Point High School.
Picnic Point.
It's out in like the Bankstown area.
Oh, yeah.
Oh right. Was there ever a picnic?
No, actually, it was very disappointed. About
No
the
picnic.
Lack of picnic.
What about a picnic bar? Was there ever a picnic bar eaten or
No.
kind of any reference to the name?
No, I reckon it was just like one of those things where like you know how like back when like they were finding the country and they were just started like naming shit random things.
Oh yeah.
You know, like Milson's Point on like
There's some dude called Milson.
just some dude called Milson.
Get a
He's like,
really
this
good
is my
point.
point now, and everyone just is like, all right.
Milson's just on a like a hill. He's like, yeah, gay. You shouldn't be gay.
Imagine that.
He's like,
power
yeah,
move.
Milson's got a good point. We should name this place
that's the
after
reason they
him.
named it.
How's that as like a power move? You're like a settler or something, and you're like, oh, I'm going to take you out for a date. And they're like, what are we going to do? And you're like, we're going to have a picnic. And they're like,
Yeah.
where? And you're like, Picnic Point.
At Picnic Point.
I just named it that.
I just,
Just named it that. Because
yeah, I
of
got to get some money out. I'm going to go to Bankstown.
What kind of people live in Bankstown?
Go on.
Yeah, Gavin, you want to answer that one? What kind of people live in Bankstown?
You know, a lot of lovely people.
Yeah.
But like, what do you think about it?
There's two ways we can go with it. Two
Yeah.
ways.
You can put the mic closer to your face, mate.
When you were first starting comedy, Gavin, was there a point where you were coming in a little bit?
Picnic Point.
A little bit too-
Hey, wait a second. Picnic Point.
He's got a riff.
So, there we go.
He's got a-
Picnic Point.
A little bit too hot and heavy? Like a little bit.
Oh yeah, like my first 5 minutes was about porn and suicide. Like,
Wow.
and then like no, a lot of people. I've talked to
Yeah.
a lot of people who like saw me then, and I was just like, oh, what did you think? And they were just saying like, man, you're either gonna stop talking about it or stop comedy. It was one of the two things.
Right.
'Cause,
Yeah.
like, you know, because like I had just so many like I had a lot of suicide jokes.
Oh, wow.
Were they funny? Did you find them funny?
I found them funny. I have
Yeah.
one still in my act from there.
What's some
oh,
good
well,
ones you had to
yeah, I
get
know
rid of,
the-
though? What are some good ones you had to get rid of?
I
wanna
don't
let
think
the
I don't think they
people-
were good. Like you go back in hindsight, and there's like a reason people aren't laughing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're like you're looking back at it and being like, oh yeah, I was going through some shit and I took it out on an audience. You know?
That's how you feel about it now. in
Yeah,
hindsight,
of course, clearly. Like I had jokes in my act like that, like I would use to patch up the like bombing. You know what I mean? Like so I had a joke being like, oh, if you think those suicide jokes are a cry for help, you should hear the ones coming from my basement. And
Yeah,
just
okay,
like shit like that,
So
you know.
you knew they weren't going to work.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
but you know,
Yeah.
I was like a year in, 2 years in, I had nothing else.
Right.
I had nothing else other than this fucking suicide.
I think we
jokes
should
that
go back to the suicide jokes. I'm a big
Yeah.
fan of the suicide. Do you
There's a
think
lot
you
of
can kind
porn jokes
revisit
as
it?
well. Yeah, but like, there's also like, it's hard to find like funny in it.
Funny. It's pretty hilarious. Yeah.
It's pretty funny.
Do you know what I mean? It's
That's
pretty,
a great. That's a great thing that comedy's a really good tool for, though. I guess is you can talk about that kind of shit. I guess if it's done tastefully.
But you have to figure out your angle. Like if I just go up there and I'm just like, yeah, thinking about killing myself, and immediately the audience goes, ooh, okay.
What if they just bursted
Yeah.
out laughing? That would be great. They'd be
Oh,
like,
there'd be a way to do like see
Yeah.
see this is the thing about comedy. Nothing's absolute. Like I could say that's not funny, and then someone does that exact same thing and it kills.
See, like Caesar gets up.
Yeah,
And
like
it would
because like
murder.
it's the
If Caesar went up
Yeah.
and said, "I'm about to kill myself" in his African accent, it would be like a round of applause. It'd be
Yeah, like
no, I'm
the-
being serious.
I almost could see that. Like because
He's like, "No, really, stop laughing."
I can't do the accent.
I know. You try it.
Isn't it?
Off mic I can for some reason. Just whenever there's a mic, it's just this weird thing. Whenever there's a microphone in front of my face, I can't do accents. It's just really odd.
Yeah, because he was actually doing a really good Caesar earlier, and it's interesting because he actually uses the N word and everything like
They
that.
thought he
which I
was
found,
like they thought he
yeah.
was here.
I know. I assumed. I heard you and Jackson talking outside. I was like, oh, we got Caesar back again. It's an interesting one. But so suicide and porn,
Yeah, that was like my main topics.
and now you don't really touch on.
Like I haven't really done a porn joke in ages.
Right.
But like there was like I don't know, porn's a weird one to talk about because like it's one of those things. There's such like so many like how many fucking porn bits have you?
Oh my
heard?
gosh.
Like there's so many of them, and unless you're coming out with something incredibly unique, what's the point?
So many of them.
Go on.
Just like the
Go
amount
on.
of tabs I have open when I'm watching it. Something like that.
I saw you guys' computer. There's a lot of tabs open
There are
already.
a lot of tabs open there.
You gotta open my private browser if you want to see that.
The
Oh, yeah,
incognito.
that's good, that's good.
Apparently, yeah, incognito mode doesn't work at all. Apparently,
It just doesn't save the history. That's all it is.
but the government can still see you looking at.
Yeah,
child
like
porn.
like all the cookies and all the data and all that's still there.
Right. Goodness gracious.
The government
Yes,
tracking people watching child porn so they can find
Feel
out
like we
real
just-
good shit.
There's got to be one guy in the FBI that's doing that. Being like,
Oh,
man,
He's
this guy's
like,
on-"
damn.
There's one
I
guy
haven't
in
even
every
seen this.
room that does
Yeah.
that.
Well, that's like that is a thing where like there are like child predators are attracted to certain jobs, like the classic one, like teachers,
Yeah, I
childcare
should become a
workers,
teacher.
and one of them is like FBI people, and they'll like go
Really?
into like the investigation side, and then they'll just like
Ooh, wow.
they're basically legally looking at child porn because they're in the investigation side of like investigating.
Goodness. It's like I've never
Alright,
watched
we're
a day in my
half an
life.
hour into this video that goes for 2 hours, and I don't think we have enough information.
Johnson, you've been
think
watching
we-
the footage for 2 days now. You need to get some
I gotta
sleep.
get inside this sick bastard's head.
I'm just trying to crack the case.
I wonder if it's the same thing with like, is it necrophilia where you want to have sex with dead people?
yeah.
Surely the people that are like
Yeah,
Prop-
morticians, like that's a big one.
Oh, that's true.
propping people up to like get ready for a funeral or whatever, and it's like, well, I'm changing. I may as well touch their boob.
What about being a child predator, right? And you dress up like the character Predator with the dreads,
Yep.
and you just have like the whole shoes on the knees thing. You'd be like, "Hey, I'm a child predator." That'd be a funny Facebook photo.
I thought you were gonna go for something like you're a child predator, but you only go for Kid Rock.
That's a
Yeah.
decent one. Yeah, I could go for. I bet Kid Leroy is a child as well. That's probably not going to work.
Oh yeah, that's a funny meme. Like full grown Rock, Kid Rock, and then it's the other guy, and he's like, look at that transformation.
Which one?
Like the Rock.
Kid Rock and then The Rock.
I think that's been there, hasn't it?
That has it.
I'm sure it has.
Yeah, surely.
Yeah, I'm sure.
There's a lot of rock memes out there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
especially when it comes to like two pretty big figures in like popular culture.
Yeah.
Kid Rock. And
More like
Although I
two
wouldn't
pretty
say
big.
Kid Rock's popular anymore.
Yeah, what was that one? Two.
He had one song, I think.
What was that one?
I don't even know the
Oh,
name.
Summer
The
Long.
bum
Yeah.
did it bound to bang.
Oh
That
yeah,
one.
that classic one.
Roundabout.
I don't know what it is. It's just that's what it's is.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah, it's a hard one doing the whole like. It's so crazy because like you're talking about that the suicide and porn jokes or whatever.
That's
we're doing that
literally-
right now.
Yeah, yeah.
That's all of my set.
That's like, but that's just the classic. Like, I feel like that's just the classic mistake in comedy where, well, not mistake, but it's just like you got to go through it.
Yeah.
You got to talk about killing yourself.
No, you just
And
got to talk
porn.
about like you talk about what's on your mind, and then like what's on most dudes' minds when they're like 21.
Child porn.
Take the child out of it, and then I would
There we
agree. Yeah, like most dudes when they're 21, that's all they're thinking about is porn.
That's true. It's kind of weird to not be talking about it.
Yeah, or at least have an opinion about it.
That's the thing. A comedian who isn't talking about that is something you should be worried about. You'd be like, this man is
I wouldn't say worried.
very worrying. He's not talked about
No,
child porn
Bill
yet.
Cosby never talked about porn.
That's true.
That's true.
That's why it's always a worry. You should kind of keep an eye on those people.
Yeah.
Yeah, because because we're like a kind of like a nasty little echo chamber. Like me and Krim will get together.
Yeah.
And we're just doing jokes back and forth that are absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
But they can be deadly. You know what I mean? They can make people... Yeah. It's kind of a funny prank on the audience. I was just realizing, like you were saying, it's like you're taking those suicide jokes out or whatever. It's like you're putting the audience through that kind of. It's kind of what we're doing is like this funny prank on an audience.
That's true. Yeah, I like it. It's a whole experience. It's like watching a movie. Be like, hey, there's a guy who wants to kill himself on stage. Let's see how this unfolds.
Yeah, but like the more real it is, the less funny it. Like for that,
Or
entirety.
how funnier it gets.
I don't know. Maybe I just I didn't go deep enough with it. Or
Maybe like right on that line where it's kind of like so scary you shouldn't be laughing at it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like it's a tricky. It's an interesting one.
Should I go back? Should I go back to the suicide jokes? Is that what you're recommending me?
I think so. I think it's probably a good little angle.
Yeah.
Well, no, you shouldn't because you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're getting rooms and stuff, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
You're doing something
The
right.
classic. Well, the point I was eventually going to was the biggest mistake a lot of comics try to do is getting their own like really niche-y personal humor.
Oh.
And then putting it out into the universe.
Well, that is yeah, interesting. That's a thing that happens.
Yeah. It happens to everyone because you're going from making your mates laugh to making a group of strangers laugh. And it's just like, it's two completely different things. Like, I have mates that I know I can say 2 words to them and they'll immediately start laughing.
You just do like a finger thing.
Yeah, because it's an inside joke that we've had for like 10 years.
What about just doing that on stage?
Just do inside jokes?
Just do like 10-year inside jokes. That could be a pretty funny idea. Like literally 10-year, people don't even know what you're talking about. You'd be like, yeah, so Lakeside terrace. And you're just like cracking up.
Yeah.
That could be a pretty good angle. Like
That
in
gets
the
like
area
really,
of anti-comedy.
It gets like really Andy Kaufman-esque.
That's true.
You know, like
Yeah, just
very
getting up on
anti-comedy. Yeah. But like that's almost... But you're not going up there to get laughs at that point. You're going up there to like put the
It's
audience...
like art. It's like an art
Well,
exhibition
yeah, you're getting
almost.
reactions.
Yeah.
Like
Just
you
doing,
can make,
inside
you're
jokes.
trying to make them be like, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah.
Which I like in comedy. I love it
Yeah.
when like a comic does that. Like people like do something to the audience and like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah. That's fun. Again, a huge fan of like that whole anti-comedy stuff.
Yeah. Sam Campbell's a really good one for that. He's like a Sydney comic or Australian comic, I guess.
He's
probably.
great.
He like gets
He's
up,
really
he gets
good.
up and like has like some tomato soup,
Something
something like
I'm
that.
trying to think of
Campbell,
like, man, he's done. Oh yeah,
Campbell's
Campbell's soup. Okay, yeah.
tomato. He's just pouring soup all over himself, and everyone's like, "What is going on?" He'd be like, he's literally unloaded like 10 cans of soup, and he's like, "Anyway, I'm Sam Campbell." As soon as he says his name, everyone's just like,
But there's just like a really nice painting of him in a museum somewhere.
"That's true, yeah." But yeah, what's your weirdest experience kind of on stage?
The weirdest experience I've had on stage. I did acid in Nimbin, and then I did a joke. I was like doing comedy, and then like I can't even remember how. Like I think I was meant to do 10 minutes, but then I came.
You came back, but there was no audience.
I
You've been on all
negotiated.
night.
Oh no, there was 200 people there.
Oh wow,
Wow. That's the whole Nimbin.
that's all of Nimbin.
Oh yeah, so once a year they do this festival called the Mardi Gras, and it's it's meant to be like someone
Called the
just-
what?
Mardi Gras.
Interesting.
It's like Mardi Gras,
I've seen
but with an
Jackson
extra
go
S.
into a lot
No,
of.
you haven't seen.
I think I've seen Jackson go to something similar. He does like a special there.
Yeah, I've seen Krim go to something
which
similar to
is-
that in Sydney.
Yeah, but it doesn't have the S. But yeah, Jackson's
There's like
always,
one less S. Yeah.
Yeah, Jackson I think goes to that one regularly. He does like
That's
a float or
crazy
something
because
like that,
I
which
wasn't
is-
sure if you saw me when I was celebrating.
No,
the gay community, 'cause
anyway, Gavin.
I wasn't sure if you were too busy sucking that guy's penis. I was afraid that you might not be able to see me do my thing. But anyway, Mardi Gras.
He had to look up a lot.
Yeah, because that was actually Jackson's story. It wasn't actually me because I wasn't there. I was at the Mardi Gras with 2 S's with Gavin and Nimbin. We're both on acid. But yeah, you were actually on Oxford Street that night. So that's why I was surprised. Anyway, yeah, so when we were in Nimbin...
Man, I can't wait for the eventual climax of this podcast to be that you're both just gay. You just
I know it's not,
can't.
and people realize that and they're like, it's not even funny.
They're just gay.
It's 2 gay guys. This is
Just
not
having
funny
fun.
at all.
Just two gay guys having fun.
Yeah, so you're at Mardi Gras.
Yeah, I was on acid. I was meant to do 10 minutes, but I negotiated my set time down to whenever I was really into origami at the time, so I was folding an origami raptor on stage, and I negotiated my time to whenever I finished the origami raptor, that's when I finished my set.
Oh.
Okay.
And then I was just high on acid, just folding an origami raptor, and I would occasionally look up and see 200 people and get like, oh yeah, there's way too many people looking at me. And then I would like have to just look down and just say jokes. And then there was this one joke I was saying, it's like a horrible joke, and I was only doing it because I knew the people in Nimbin would hate it.
Oh.
Okay.
And I do that, unfortunately, a little bit in Nimbin. Because they're like a really like hippie, peace-loving crowd.
Oh, fucking hate
They're like
hippies.
all about
I
positive.
hate hippies.
I'm not
we
fond of
say
it.
as we're in Newtown.
I'm not fond of
I
it.
hate hippies.
Yeah, we all hate them.
We all hate them. Jackson says as he's wearing a tie-dye t-shirt.
I'm not wearing a tie-dye
He's
t-shirt.
wearing like a
He's got
bandana.
like the opposite of a hippie outfit on. Right?
Yeah. Oh, I got the
Yeah.
big baggy blue jeans, but that's
No,
about it.
that's close.
You got a guitar and you've got a shirt that says "Free Love."
Well,
Which is-
I love
That's pretty
hippies, so
good,
Yeah, it's weird for someone who hates hippies.
no, I love hippies.
Anyway, so you finish your set, you wake up, you're on Oxford Street, and you're folding
And
like some
then
an
turned out
origami penis.
It turned out it wasn't acid, and I wasn't in Nimbin. It was just a lot of dick, and I was like, and I
If
got-
you suck enough dick, you can be anywhere.
hey, you suck off enough dudes on drugs, and you get high yourself.
That's true.
I don't think that is true.
Well, let's just say I'm pretty high right now.
Pretty high right now.
I couldn't imagine doing that, being on acid on stage like that.
We do it every year. We try to make everyone do it, but like it's obviously you can't make everyone do it.
Oh, you can. You can. Let's
Yeah.
just say
Have you ever looked on someone or look after someone when they're on acid?
no. I'm actually not a hippie.
Consider doing that before dosing someone.
Yeah, that'll be nuts. I actually had a mate. I'll be brief because I think I already spoke about this on pod. But
I'll
I
be
had a
brief.
mate,
Also, I'm wearing boxer briefs right now and not.
I had a mate that was like tripping out on mushrooms really bad recently, and his body was seizing up and everything like that.
Because you were out
It was
in the
nuts,
forest
man.
walking
It
and you
was
tripped
nuts.
all over the mushrooms in the.
I had like MD
Forest.
that night as well.
Yeah.
He was the only one that had mushrooms. And then we're like, we've got to call the ambulance and blah, 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 blah. He wanted that. We're waiting for them and whatever. And he was like, oh, I need to go for a walk. So we just took him out the front, went for this little walk. And he was like, man, I'm tripping balls. And I was like, it's all right, man. Ambulance is coming. Everyone's going to go with you kind of thing. And he's like, no, I don't want everyone. Just you. And I was just like, I'm high as fuck right now. I don't want to be in this thing with him freaking out in an ambulance with 2 paramedics and whatever. It's crazy. But it ended up, he just passed out and they didn't come. Took like 5 hours for them to come.
Did you tell them he was high on mushrooms? Yeah, they were probably like, this guy's fine.
And they were also.
Oh, really? Okay.
They were
Yeah,
also edging as well. It took them a while to come because they knew they could take advantage of him. It's just not okay. Hopefully, this is hitting for people at home, or else I'll be hitting my ex-wife.
Anyway.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
what do you
probably it.
expect from these jokes?
Yo, like he's on acid.
Yeah.
I mean on mushrooms, sorry. So
Yeah.
it's probably the reason.
Yeah, like mushrooms is one of those ones like it's the safest drug that like humans have. The least amount of like there's less deaths associated with mushrooms than marijuana.
Is there any with marijuana?
There's deaths associated with it, but not from like ingesting it.
Like driving or something like that?
yeah, there's like a bunch of people who got stoned and fucking jumped off of whatever.
I guess like a lot of people on coffee, they probably did a lot of dangerous things as well.
Yeah,
on
coffee's the
caffeine.
most dangerous drug. Actually.
Really?
Yeah. Didn't you know that?
Is it? I assume.
I can't believe.
No, I
I
assume.
believed it
immediately
too.
I'll be
believed.
like
We're
this,
gullible boys.
This man just murdered 17 women. He also had an espresso the morning of.
Yeah, didn't you hear about the coffee killer? Where he drank a cup of coffee and beat women with the
I
mug?
assume
That's most killers.
most people
Yeah.
who beat a woman or kill someone have had some coffee.
Whoa.
That's true.
That's
yeah.
the thing. Or do you think they're just like straight edge? Because you want to get a bit pumped up for it.
Or maybe it's the lack of coffee, which is why they've killed people.
And that will still be associated with coffee because
Yeah.
they're withdrawing.
It's the withdrawals of coffee.
I don't think we've done probably enough research into that area
I think we need to get the science guys on it. We need to get the science boys on it.
about coffee.
About coffee.
What are the bigger kind of shows you've done as well?
Like out of like people wise.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Nimbin honestly is probably like the largest people wise.
That's pretty nuts. Like
'cause
200
it's, like,
people in a room trying to make them laugh.
this year one was bigger where we had 250.
In
Probably.
Oh,
Nimbin.
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Because it's just like honestly, like this year the festival is like a lot smaller because of Corona.
Yeah.
And we just had this like beautiful like week window where there was like no cases in New South Wales, and then like the week after there was like some more cases, and like the week before there was cases. So we're like really iffy about whether it's going on.
Yeah.
And so we were really lucky to get like to have it, and there was like fuck man, there was like 5,000 people there.
In,
You know,
the
in
festival?
Nimbin, yeah, because it's like
right,
they
in
fill out the
Nimbin.
campgrounds, and
Oh, right.
everyone's camping, and then everyone's just like fucking off their face.
Yeah, it's probably a good audience, especially
Oh,
like a
yeah,
bunch of
yeah.
stoners. Like they just
It's a great
wanna
audience.
laugh.
Well, it's a weird audience sometimes because sometimes you just get like a pocket of people on acid, and you're like, why are these people not laughing?
They're like,
And
dude, your set's hilarious, but I don't trust that snake behind you right now, man.
oh, dude, it was so. This year we had a massive picture of Ganesh behind us,
Yeah.
and then like I was high on acid, and I'm like doing jokes and being like, man, I don't like looking at this many people, and I turned around and there's Ganesh just staring at me, and I'm like, it's actually worse.
It's an indie guy.
It's actually worse.
Have
Just
you
getting
done
judged
DMT?
by someone. Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's a pretty crazy one. That one's yeah, like I did it a fair bit, and I broke through a few times, and I did it once in Nimbin, because I'm dude just like rocked up out to our campsite, and we're just like sitting around the campfire smoking bongs, and he's like, "Hey, can I use your guys' bong?" And we're like, "Sure." And he comes up and he's just like, "You guys smoked DMT before?"
Oh,
And he just starts giving DMT cones out to people by the campfire, and we just like blast off. And like at that point, I've done it before, so I'm like, I'll have a little bit.
yeah. Yeah, it's...
Have a little bit.
Woo.
And then, yeah, like everyone's just blasting off, and he's just like, yeah, this is fucking sick, man. I smoke this all the time. Just like this bogan guy that's just like, he generally, like, this dude, it was so funny. He was asking us, like, I asked him, like, oh man, what happened to your bong? Like, clearly you had one, now you don't. He's like, mate, the fucking pigs. I was going through town on like he lives in Nimbin as well.
Oh, this is a dude.
He's like a
He's
local.
Like a
Oh,
full hippie.
No. There's like a big divide in the Nimbin locals of like there's like a bunch of just hippies that are just there to smoke weed, and that's kind of it. And you just got this like small, it's like a pretty small section of it that's just like they're just there to do drugs. And they don't give a fuck what drug it is.
They're
Right.
like, I'm having an espresso right now.
Double
Where
shot.
is-
Double
Where
shot.
is a barista?
Don't you dare
Dude, have you-
put milk in that.
Dude, have you tried an almond latte before? It'll knock your socks off.
That shit.
So like
Wild.
amphetamines and shit like that?
Yeah, so recently that's been quite a popular thing up there.
Ugh.
There used to be like the weed dealers used to kick them out, and then like the police like banned the weed dealers from going to Nimbin after they caught them, and then ever since then the drugs have been fucked.
Bit iffy. Yeah.
But yeah, this guy was like going through the town on a Segway, and he's just like, yeah. So I was smoking my cones of DMT,
Yeah.
while on a Segway, going through town, and then he's like, yeah. And then the fucking pigs start chasing me, telling me I can't smoke bongs in public. So then I threw the bong, and then I broke it, and then now I'm here, boys.
It's like I realized I need to get out of the farm.
When I went through Nimbin,
'Cause they're actual
we
pigs.
stopped in there, and I felt like there was kind of this air of like the people that weren't from there or whatever and just knew about it. Maybe because I was young as well. But like,
Whereabouts? Where's Nimbin near?
It's like an hour from Byron Bay.
Oh, okay.
It's like an hour inland from Byron
Okay,
Bay.
yeah. I'm gonna take a quick Wessie, baby.
I feel
Yeah, go for
I feel like people are kind of disrespectful of the area, I guess, because it has such
Definitely.
connotations.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
I'm just gonna get in there and cause a muck kind of thing. We went to a cafe because we got a tip off, like, go to a cafe, you'll be able to buy
Which
some.
cafe did you go to?
Oh, I couldn't tell you.
Because there's like, did you go to a normal looking cafe, or did you go to this like really skinny looking one?
I think it was a skinny looking.
That was like, it had like just like a bar, and that was kind of it.
I'm trying to even remember. I feel like it was probably like, it's probably pretty small, like the size of this room, and then there was maybe like a bar at the end. But we got told just kind of loiter in there, and then people will come and ask you if you want to
Oh,
buy
yeah.
like cookies or some shit.
Yeah.
And we got some from there, but it was just the weirdest thing, man, because we're like 18. It's our first time leaving our hometown.
But like so many people, like would like Nimbin just like it has that reputation.
Yeah.
Like people like literally just go there, park their car, and just wait for people to like walk up to the car. and then like someone will just sell it to you.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And the crazy thing is, like, the people who are about it and doing things in a good way, they're not the ones that are going to be walking up to your car like that, right?
Nah. Like,
unless they're trying to make some money, but they're going to be hustling.
The whole point of like I don't know. I'm not sure. It's like the whole point of the festival is to get it legalized, but what they really want is just like people to grow their own plants. Like they kind of believe everyone should just have 1 or 2 plants, and that's kind of it. Like you shouldn't have to go buy off someone else.
I'm down for that. I don't
because
think
it's pretty easy to grow. Like it's called weed for a reason.
Yeah. I was smoking weed for a long time. I don't smoke anymore because it's just not beneficial for me. But people should. I think it's really good for a population to have access to weed.
Yeah, like you can abuse anything.
If you abuse weed, you're chilling, laughing at shit, watching YouTube videos and playing a game on PlayStation. You're pleasant to be around. Drinking is such a fucking bigger problem than that.
It's very destructive.
I know so many drunks that are like, well, not drunks, but alcohol is annoying. The guy that's smoking weed isn't annoying. Maybe they're freaking out.
I guess it could be
little
like
bit,
he's a bummer to be around or something. Like you can't get anything
like
out of him.
non-smokers don't like being around like hard smokers because they're like on a fucking different wavelength. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That was a big thing for me, was like to be into something to be like right into it kind of thing.
But that's with anything. Like you find someone that's like fucking hard into alcohol and they can't like go fucking a day without going and getting beers, and you know anytime the boys are hanging out, it's like, yeah, look at the beers, boys, look at the beers.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like that also gets to a level of like, oh, dude, this is too much. And then like you throw in any other drug in there and it gets fucking out of hand very quickly. Go to a lot of shardy parties.
I've never been to a shardy party. Actually, one time me and my friend were trying to get onto MD again when I was quite young. We're coming back from a party and found a bag on the ground on the way home. Because we were talking to people on the dance floor and whatever. Going back to his pad and then found a little bag.
Found a little baggie.
And we went home and I like took some of it. Because we were tossing it up for like an hour.
Oh,
I did like a little bit of it. Me and my friend were like, it's not crack. It can't be crack. Can't be ice. Blah, 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 blah. And I did some of it and then like handed it to my friend to do some. And he like went and got this little crack pipe out. And I was like, what are you doing? And he's like, dude, if I'm doing crack, I'm doing crack.
Wow.
And I was just like, bro, what the fuck? Like, I was fully under the idea that we both shared, like, no, this is just some like fun little party drug.
Yeah, like you sniff a bit or whatever it is. Put a bit on your gums. I don't know.
That's what I did. Yeah, put it on my gums. And then crazy move.
That is a crazy move.
We were both up all night and I went to uni and had a presentation the next morning. I think it might have been. And I was like, I killed this presentation, went out, and then I was talking to my friend that was in my group and she came up and she's like, are you all right? And I was like, why? And she's like...
It's like, Jackson, you're at Mardi Gras right now. Like, you're trying to do a presentation in front of thousands of gay men.
She was like, are you on ice?
Jackson, you still have 5 minutes of your set in Nimbin. You're doing comedy right now.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. That stuff being out there. Point being, weed is nothing.
Does it affect people who smoke prone to conspiracy theories though? And would they want to overthrow them?
Whenever I
ask this guy,
me personally, whenever I
Hey-o.
stop smoking weed is when I get into them.
Really?
When I'm into conspiracy theories, I'm like, fucking whatever. Of course they're doing
this. You drink some coffee, got some espresso in you, and you're ready to overthrow the government.
Yeah, I'm always like, of course the government's trying to fuck my day, and then I just don't give a fuck. But when I'm like sober, I'm like really analytical, and I'll go through like the paper trail and shit like that.
How deep have you gone down this rabbit hole?
Which one?
Okay.
There's a lot of conspiracy theories out there.
The role of Jewish people in the media.
Starting off with a hot one. So, like, are you trying to ask
Black people in the media, are they meant to be taking our precious white women? Anyway, let's go. Let's start with numero uno.
There's like barely conspiracy theories.
Okay, yeah. So
what's this hot new conspiracy theory? The black guys like white women.
This hot new conspiracy theory.
Yeah, but I think that's
something here, man.
That's a big thing.
And the white women like it too.
That's a big thing on what was it, on 8chan or 8corn. It was about black
Jews.
Jewish people controlling the media and black men like being bigged up by the media to take all the white women from the white men.
So I think that's less of a conspiracy theory and more just like the
More
fear.
that's just
And these are
actually
just, like-
happening. So back to conspiracy theories.
and fact.
We're not going to. We're not going to talk about facts.
No, that's just like what white people's insecurities.
It comes. It
Like
came
that's all it
across like
is. Like that's all it really is. You got like some 16-year-old that lives in a rural town in like America somewhere.
Oh yeah, who am I gonna? I'm an incel. Who can I blame this on?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's true. That's true.
Like, that's
Tearing
what it
down
all
his Lil
is.
Wayne poster from the wall.
Yeah, like a lot of people don't want to look at themselves and being like, hey, maybe I should be a little bit more interesting and women would want to sleep with me. Maybe I should be less of a dick. Maybe I should fucking bathe and shit. And they just like, no, it's clearly because the media is trying to get, like it doesn't,
Interesting.
it's just this weird like cognitive dissonance.
So, what would be your biggest the
Conspiracy.
one you
There's
spend
one
most time
conspiracy
with?
theory that like there's one that I 100% believe in, and
Yeah.
a lot of the other ones I have like varying degrees of what I believe in and what I don't believe in.
Okay.
Like the classic one, like this is one I don't really believe in that much, but like the world's run by satanic pedophiles.
Okay.
So like
nice.
there's varying levels of degrees where I'm like, oh, okay, there's clearly some pedophiles in government.
Yeah.
Yes.
Also in this room.
Whether or not they're
Also,
satanic is
this room
another
must be
question.
Okay, the
So
satanic
like I have varying
aspect, yeah.
degrees of what I accept and
The
what I don't.
satanic element of that statement, I feel, really turns a lot of people off.
Yeah.
Because it goes into like mystical and kind of
Yeah,
like.
because then it becomes just like you have to
Lizard
believe
people.
in Christianity almost to believe in the conspiracy theory.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Because if you're atheist, you're like, well, who cares if they're satanic?
Well, the satanic person doesn't exist, so therefore I can't even go.
And then
into
also
this.
like the Church of Satan isn't like I was after leaving like Christianity, I explored a lot of different religions.
you went
and
down
I-
Satanism.
Well, I didn't like go to the church, but like I like studied it and like
Really?
read the Bibles and shit.
Goodness.
Is it?
But it's the main difference between Christianity and the modern day Satanism is the modern day Satanism is focused around the individual, where Christianity is focused around like
the
community.
Yeah.
What about Paytonism? It's like people
You paint
obsessed
your
with Gary
face.
Payton. It's like really obsessed with basketball star Gary Payton from the Toronto Raptors. I don't know. I think
He's
he
not
was
from the
he's
Raptors. He
not
wasn't from the
Was he from?
Yeah.
I knew you would know because you actually
Yeah, I
care
know,
about
I know.
basketball, which is good.
Like in that
Yeah,
being
Gary
more,
Payton, the glove man, he's good.
Okay.
being more about the individual, would that include self-serving? Like the sins are self-serving, right?
Yeah, but like there's also like how like you got like the 10 Commandments in the Christian one. They have like their own version in the Satanic Bible, and one
It's
of them.
just like thou shall kill. It's just got the note crossed out.
If you're gonna kill someone, cut their throat and sacrifice them to Satan. Now, one of the big ones is don't impede other people's will. So
That's
like,
in the Church of Satanism.
yeah, so like I should never do something that would impede you from doing something.
Right.
Also, if
I
someone's
wanted
wanting to kill someone, let them be.
No, it's not really like that. It's more like that. Like I shouldn't like if I'm like I don't know. Let's say we're all housemates and you're trying to clean the kitchen,
Yeah.
and I keep just putting dirty dishes in the kitchen. That's me like impeding on your will.
So
to clean the
Satan
kitchen.
Right.
Satanists don't want to be an inconvenience as a housemate.
Yeah. It's
Because
a lot
most
of
them
it's a
all
lot
have
about like
roommates.
don't bother others and kind of keep to yourself.
It's like
what a
Satanism
lot of it's
rule number
about.
2: do your dishes on your dish day.
Sure.
Clean up around the share house.
So it's actually.
Don't be a cunt.
Are they nice? Is it nice?
Because the Church of Satan's less about like the believing in the idea of a physical manifestation of the devil. They don't really believe in like the devil's a real thing. It's more of like a counter-religious movement.
Right.
Oh, okay.
It's
Yeah.
just being like, this is like, religion can... And anytime you see the Church of Satan, it's always them kind of like poking at the free religion kind of stuff.
I actually have looked into that a little bit. I know maybe it was just one documentary or something like that I watched where it was kind of like boycotting these certain things and just being like, no, we're allowed to have our voice as well.
Yeah.
It's very troll-like in nature.
There's a little bit of trolling, but it's a lot like... So one of the classic ones is... they put up a statue of Satan. I can't remember what town it was, but like this town in America, and people were going fucking crazy.
That's right. Yeah.
Because it's like, it makes sense. Like, obviously in America, they're not like, they got to go fucking ballistic about it. And the whole point was being like, you can have pictures of Jesus up, you can have pictures, you can have crosses up, you can have a statue of Mary in front of your house. Why can't we have our religious icon?
Yeah.
So it is very kind of like troll in its ethos in a way.
I wouldn't say troll, because troll implies that you're doing it for shits and giggles.
But it's
Like, they have a
oh,
point.
that's right,
They have a point. They have a point. You know.
don't they? Yeah. But I guess you could be like, so what is the bad?
Because
part
like
about
they wouldn't
Satanism,
let I don't know, sorry, they wouldn't let a Buddha statue get put up in some places, and why not? And that's the real like freedom of religion that like I think the satanic religion is kind of fighting for.
Okay, but I guess in terms of like the Satan aspect, that kind of like seen as a bad thing.
That's
inherently. Like,
yeah,
what's the
of course,
bad,
because
what
he's
are the bad elements of Satanism? Like, is there
oh,
a bad?
you just start going into like a list of Crowley and shit. You can go,
Oh.
you know, there's like
Yeah.
some crazy cunts in Satanism.
Right.
Or
Like,
even-
what do they kind of believe? Like, what would the?
Like I don't know, I didn't go deep with the list of Crowley, but he would like do rituals and shit, and he would be really into like he was like one of the first dudes that would like dose people with like psychedelics and shit.
right.
He would like unknowingly dose them with like they wouldn't know. And then he would like get them to believe that like he's got this magical power over him,
wow.
and he's
Oh.
causing them to like feel the shit they're feeling, and he's just like, you see, I'm distorting the walls and stuff like that, and they're like, oh.
What was he, like an author or something? Was he?
No, he was
He's just
like
a guy.
he was the guy that like I'm pretty sure he was either him or someone like around that time started the Church of Satan.
Oh, okay.
Aleister Crowley.
Aleister Crowley, yeah.
Yeah, Black Sabbath have a song about him.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Maybe
Mr.
Ozzy
Crowley.
Osbourne.
It's called. I was about to say, what's it called? Aleister Crowley or something like that.
Mr. Crowley.
Gosh, so this dude is like the go-to when it comes to Satanism.
Yeah, he's like well, I'm trying to. There's another guy. I can't remember his name, but like there's a few people. But Aleister Crowley's like the crazier, like far edge side. He was like really into like magic and black magic,
Which makes sense in Satanism in a
well,
weird
that's what
way.
that's what the people classically think of Satanism.
Yeah.
But like modern day Satanism is like very different.
Okay, so Satanism, you went through a Satanism phase. I
course.
kind of, it sounds pretty appealing. I think for a lot of listeners, they would probably want to dive into Satanism a little bit. It seems very
Give it a go.
innocent
Like research
when you
it.
kind of put it all out there.
Well,
it's like the flat earthers. you
Yeah,
know what
like
I mean?
it depends on like how you're believing in it. Like
Yeah, I'm just gonna grab my.
yeah, go.
Oh
for it.
yeah, get that charger.
Because once you take that element out of like we don't believe in a physical manifestation of the devil,
Yeah.
that like completely takes out so much.
It's like the flat earthers. Like, well, we don't actually believe the earth is flat. But we're just kind of questioning everything. We don't believe it's like not flat. We don't believe
that's
anything.
not
really.
really what they believe.
I think the average
No.
flat earther believes in that, though.
No, I've spoken to a lot of flat earthers.
Really?
Yeah,
Legit,
yeah.
But I feel there's two sides. A lot of
Oh,
flat
yeah,
earthers
like,
are kind of
I'm-
like, yeah, we just question everything.
Yeah, like
It's just
I'm
an
on
idea.
the side of like questioning NASA and shit.
Yeah,
like
that's
I don't
what
have
I
a
think
problem
most
with
flat
that.
earthers are. They're
But then
kinda
there's like
yeah.
there's like math from ancient Greeks time that has proved that the Earth's round.
Yeah.
Like the ancient Greeks just through math figured out how big the circumference of the Earth and shit. So that's not. Yeah,
But I feel like it's for a lot of people.
I've spoken to some crazy motherfuckers in the flat Earth community.
They just kind of go against all that stuff. How does
So
the debate go?
in Nimbin, there's like a lot of like conspiracy theory people. So they
Are there? In Nimbin, interesting.
big
Yeah, where this is all
Yeah.
going on, that there's a lot of conspirity theory
big
people.
anti-vaxxer movement up there.
Okay.
Very big anti-vaxxer movement. So there this year, they had this big bus that just said, what was it? It said like vax happens or something like that. And then like there was like this big like anti-vaxxing like thing, and they were like going all about like research it, man. Don't get the COVID vaccines. And
What
like,
about an anti-Daxer? And you're like really against Dax Shepard, the comedic
Oh, okay,
actor.
that's where you're going for.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dax Shepard, we just like really don't like him. We're an anti-Daxer. Sorry. But anyway, so they have this
There's
big...
a lot of anti-vaxxers and a lot of flat earthers up there.
Right.
Yeah, and I've spoken to a lot of them. Like there was this one chick who was wearing a shirt, and you know how you see those shirts that are like, you know, it's got that kind of like cattiness to it.
Okay, yeah.
If you're not this, you're not good. If you can't handle me at my best, you don't deserve me. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
all that
Jackson
kind of
wears a lot of those. Yeah.
shit. Live, love, laugh, and all that kind of shit.
No, he's got that.
She had one being like, if you think the Earth's round, I don't want anything from you.
You better not.
That's a great little market to go into, like flat earther t-shirts.
Dude, she was like hot enough that I was just like, I would fake it.
Really?
I would fake that I'd believe the Earth's flat. Just
Dude,
to, like,
that's
talk to her.
hilarious. Yeah,
Prove
maybe
it to
maybe
me.
the Earth is flat.
Yeah, dude, maybe that's flat. But those
Because I got
titties
something
ain't.
that ain't flat. I got something that ain't flat, and you can get inside of that if you believe the Earth is.
But you were saying these are kind of the fringe ones that you have. And
Oh
then-
yeah, like I don't really believe in those. The one, like, there's one that I like 100% believe in,
What
and
is?
that is
9/11.
Courtney Love murdered Kurt Cobain.
No,
I 100% believe in that.
Okay.
because it was too cool.
Yeah, it's way too cool. Too much heroin.
interesting.
So why would she do it though?
With a shotgun?
Because she got like all the rights to all the Nirvana shit.
With a shotgun.
Because they got married. Is that
Yeah,
right?
well, they were apparently in the process of getting divorced.
Ooh.
She put a shotgun in his mouth.
So the idea is you don't 100% know exactly what happened, but there's like little pieces of evidence from like the crime scene and stuff that are like probably he didn't do it. So one of the ones was like the way the shotgun was supposedly pointed was in a way that isn't normally for someone shooting themselves. So the classic way someone shoots themselves, and actually with the gun he used, they generally have to use their feet because the barrel's too long.
Ah, yeah.
And the way they would have had to do, he apparently from how the shot was, the gun was turned around the wrong way.
He's also like on heroin, so he's not going to be...
And that's the other thing. So the amount of heroin in his system was 5 times the amount to kill a junkie.
Wow.
So he wouldn't like, I don't know if you've seen people on heroin. They're not really good at picking things up.
Oh.
You know,
Yeah,
like
to have that hand-eye coordination
Interesting.
too.
yeah, like they're not like, and also the other
But wouldn't
thing.
that be reason that he could do a bad job?
Well, he wouldn't have been successful, most likely. That would be the thing. And the other thing is, he's the only person in like pretty much recorded history to kill themselves in a different way while they're ODing.
Right.
So when people OD, they normally like ride the drug out. They don't normally like, oh, I'm going to OD and then shoot myself.
So you think he was also force fed a bunch of heroin? Is that
He was like that. Like if he was like a frequent heroin user, he would know how much he would need.
So she was trying to get him on 2 accounts. She thought he wasn't overdosing quick enough, and then... So how
Like,
did
I
the
don't
night
know,
go?
like-
How did the night go?
I
in
don't
your
know the
head?
mechanics of it.
How
So
did it go? So what was her plan?
There's
What
a
did
great documentary called Soaked in Bleach where you can watch that.
Yeah.
Where it's the private investigator Courtney Love hired to investigate the murder. Eventually came to the conclusion that Courtney Love murdered him.
Oh.
And he has audio recordings.
And she's like, yeah, maybe I know. I don't want to pay. I don't want you guy anymore. Nah, yeah.
yeah, that
Right.
actually happens
Yeah.
at a point. She's like, she tries. Like,
Mrs. Love, well, I think it might be.
I think you might have
You.
something to do. And she's like, because apparently, like, he starts like pointing the fingers at this one mate who had like was around the house around this time, but she had like very close ties to Courtney.
Yeah.
She was like in the friendship more closer to Courtney than she was to Kurt, kind of
Yeah.
thing. And then there's a lot of dicey stuff. A lot of things don't make sense. And then like the ultimate thing with every conspiracy theory is you just got to follow the money. Where did the money go?
I just feel like Courtney Love to actually use a shotgun and shoot someone.
Like she
the
didn't.
average
She
person,
didn't
that
physically
seems-
do it. I don't think, but she planned it.
So she planned it. He let it off.
Yeah, it's like Charles Manson's still the reason those people died. He didn't pull the triggers.
Yeah. She could have
She
brainwashed him
she
or something like
orchestrated
that.
it.
She orchestrated it. Well, that isn't that bad. Do you know what I mean? It's not that bad. I thought you were kind of meaning she
Hitler
actually had
orchestrated the
gun.
Holocaust.
Have you guys seen the photos?
Of
Kurt Cobain?
I haven't seen I've seen like
of the Holocaust? There aren't any.
I
So-
haven't seen like the photos of him, but like I've seen like photos of like the rooms and shit.
Should we look it up?
Let's look it up.
Is that too gruesome?
No, let's do it.
There's worse out there, I think.
Get raw. Is it online?
It's so fucked up because I'm not good with gory shit or anything like that.
But why did you suggest it?
I don't know. And that's what I'm
know, you
saying.
like
There's
testing
something,
yourself.
there's something so addictive about it.
Have you watched the
Kinda-
guy that kills himself on Facebook Live?
There's like a bunch of dudes who've done
That's-
shit like that.
Oh my God.
Speaking of that, our boy Big might be coming in and he can watch it with us. We watched it.
What am I looking at?
If
Can I go on Reddit?
you want to go for that, I don't. Like, do you really want to look
I
at
really want to see this.
the Kurt Cobain death photos?
Yeah.
Should I look it up on here?
I don't think it'll be on Reddit. Just search Kurt Cobain death photos on Google.
Kurt Cobain death photos.
And if they come up, they come up.
Have you been into any of the kind of faces of death sort of stuff?
Yeah, like when I was younger, I was a bit like me and my friends were a bit more into that kind of because it kind of becomes like that, like they're trying to outdo each other, being like, yeah, I can handle more shit than you can. Like, you guys are pussies.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it becomes a bit of that. But then you start seeing some shit and you're like, what the fuck did I just like see?
And I guess, yeah, who can kind of get the worst, the thing that's actually going to distress the person.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, no,
And then
I've seen
it gets to a point of where it's like, it's not even gory. It's just weird.
It's just a guy kind of like doing the limbo or something.
So
this is
like,
cool.
so this was like when we're in like finding all these weird fucked up videos. There was this one where there was this guy, he was like dressed in a wedding dress.
Yeah.
And then he had a horse head, which was freshly skinned.
Yeah.
And then he was just like doing like I got points like fucking the horse head and just doing weird shit to it.
Where did you find this?
I didn't find it, my mate found it. And he was just like, you guys got to check out this one. It's the most fucked up one I've ever seen. And then after watching that one specifically, I'm like, what's the point?
So you're not even worried by it. You're just like, oh,
Yeah,
this is
I was just like,
stupid.
what am I? Like, it was fucking eerie as fuck. Like, it's all like it's shot like really eerily.
Yeah.
But then like after seeing, you see like some shit. Like there was like
Let's look that up. Can we look that up?
Oh, dude, there's just so many
I don't even
fucking.
know if I want to see that.
don't even-
That sounds very like full on.
It's
That
just
sounds
creepy.
full on.
It's
That's
just
very
because
creepy.
it gets to a point of where like there was no gore, there was no like violence.
That's scarier.
Yeah,
That's
it was just
honestly
creepy.
scarier. Like again, like when I was a kid.
Well, I guess
like,
a skinned horse head.
12 and
That's
stuff, like, or maybe like 10. I remember like I'd always go to like the horror section.
Yeah.
And I remember the scariest movie I ever saw, like or like back of, was Gummo. And I was like, it's
Oh,
not even
shit,
necessarily
yeah.
scary, but it's like it was
creepy.
disturbing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it seemed so real, and I was like, oh gosh, this is just like this is
Yeah.
terrifying.
It's like that thing Stephen King says. It's like you don't want to give people everything. It's just like
Okay, we're back.
booyah. All right,
Yeah.
we're back on. So yeah,
Finishing
shit.
off, last the scariest thing you've seen, most disturbing thing you've seen in all your
Most
years.
disturbing footage I've seen.
Yeah. Like you would kind of be like the average person would see this and it would ruin their day.
Yeah, I'm trying to like the whole like I feel like this might be a cop out. The whole movie, a Serbian film.
Oh,
that whole movie's
yeah.
fucked, man.
I don't know that one. Is it traditionally
It's
horror
fucked.
movie?
It's fucked. It's not
heard
even a horror.
about it.
Like it's beyond a horror movie. Like have you heard of the movie Cannibal Holocaust?
It's like a smart film, right?
Basically,
Is that the word?
It's basically a smart. Well, it's fuck. What are they called?
Hey, Biggie
I think it is a
boys
smart
here.
But yeah, that one's probably the most disturbing thing I've ever seen. And in a real life one, I don't know. I think this one's always disturbed me just because of how like easy it was. There was just this video of a guy, and he just like had his like camera in his hand, and you just see a gun in the other hand, and he just goes up to this news reporter and just shoots her a bunch, and then runs off. And I just like that one disturbed me just because like you can just see like
How real it was.
How real it is.
yeah, you see him
yeah.
like planning, and then you just see him go up and just like bam, 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 and just run away. I think she didn't end up dying. She got like like it didn't hit her fatally.
What a loser.
What a loser, mate.
Gosh, but that's true. You got a good arc when it comes to scary, which is the thing. It's all about the story beforehand.
Yeah, it's like the placement of it. Like like there's that.
We would say this Facebook, the Facebook suicide. There's a guy who's like calling his loved ones and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and it's this slow build up. He's got the gun like on the table, and it's just like it's coming, and that's why it's so.
Insane,
Me, that is.
Oh.
I'm gonna be ejaculating because it's hot.
I remember one that actually made me laugh, but it's like so disturbing it made me laugh.
Yeah.
They had a bunch of suicide videos of people like doing that kind of shit. And it's all done to the song of the Happy Days theme song.
Oh yeah.
And it's just like the full song, just like images of people just like all this. It's like so disturbing. I found it funny.
Gosh, I can imagine that one. Goodness.
It's so it was just like so outrageous. And
Let's
it's
get
just
that-
like
okay, let's get that up.
Nah,
Let's
baby,
go out on
we
it.
got to cut. We got to
Yeah,
cut.
we gotta cut.
this one, but
We gotta wrap.
we've loved it.
Yeah, seriously, could have been here for another
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to get
Throw a
get
part
you
2 in there.
Anything you want to tell the people? Leave the people on.
Oh yeah, plug
Just
away.
just go to comedy. Just go to comedy shows.
Like
whatever city you're in, just Google that and comedy and go to comedy.
Solid.
And
Fucking
the
oath.
scariest video I ever saw was a man doing stand up at the Nimbin Comedy Festival.
High on acid.
Yeah, it was terrifying. But
Yeah. Well, yeah. Thanks for coming on,
No
Gav
problems,
Daddy.
guys. Anytime.
And yeah, it's a wrap.
Peace out,
It's a
daddy-os.
Peace out.